And now, Seton Catholic Drama Department's Radio Theater, starring Rebecca Vu. Carolyn Thornberry. Griffin Cash. And Aaron McCoy. Along with Morgan Cash. Mason Sullivan. Annie Marishalar. Henry Davis Morales. Joshua. And Staley Mason. Grace Bach. Gabo Vassallo. Avery Garrison. Leia Cadorniga. Zach Kidwell. Samantha Brown. Malcolm Super. Andy and Addie Michaela. Itza Posada. Madeline Chase. Nico Bell. Chris Fagier. Ben Ross. Emma Yarnson. And myself, Ryan Vu, in It's a Wonderful Life. This is the story of George Bailey, an ordinary man who lives in Bedford Falls, New York. But George Bailey, more than anything, wanted to see the world, the exciting world that lay somewhere beyond his hometown. George had big dreams, but also big responsibilities. Of course, sometimes the two don't always fit together. Sometimes happiness is not over the rainbow, but right under your nose. However, our story doesn't begin in Bedford Falls. In fact, it doesn't begin anywhere in this world. It begins in heaven, where the superintendent of angels is briefing an apprentice angel named Clarence.
Clarence Oddbody, angel, second class, reporting for duty, Your Honor.
What? They sent me an angel second class? You mean to say you haven't earned your wings yet?
No, not yet. But I'm hoping this mission will do the trick. Are you really sending me down to Earth? Gosh, I haven't been to Earth since that time I got lost.
Yes, you see there's a man in trouble down there.
Oh, good.
No, bad, Clarence. At precisely 10:45 p.m. Earth time, a man named George Bailey will be thinking about ending his life.
Oh my. Ending his life? Well, I know that's bad.
Good, Clarence. I'm glad you understand. So, you must stop him, if you can. Now, let me brief you on George Bailey's case history. You see, when George was a boy...
Oh, that's okay, Your Honor. All I need is a plan.
Plan?
Oh, you see, Your Honor, I'm reading The Adventures of Tom Sawyer, Mark Twain.
Yes, I'm familiar with the book.
Well, Tom Sawyer always has a plan.
I see. Well, if you can help George Bailey with your plan, Clarence, you may just get your wings. Say, how long have you been waiting for your wings?
Over 200 years.
200 years? Well, George Bailey's gonna need a miracle.
Yes! Thank you for your confidence in me, boss. I'll leave immediately.
Wait, Clarence, plan or no, first, some background. Now, when George Bailey was a boy, he and his friends snuck onto old Mr. Potter's property and was sliding over a frozen pond on a shovel.
Pretty good.
Then, George's younger brother, Harry, fell through the ice.
And George jumped in to save Harry?
Yes, but as a result, George has a bad ear.
Sure, the icy water, infection, I get it.
Now look, Clarence, a few months later, young George was working after school at Mr. Gower's drugstore. But on this day, Mr. Gower received a telegram informing him that his only son had just died of influenza. Devastated, Mr. Gower was trying to drown his sorrows in whiskey when...
Gower's drugs. Mrs. Splain. What? Well, George should have delivered that medicine by now. Wait, here he comes. I'll send it right over. Goodbye. George, did you deliver that prescription?
Well, no, Mr. Gower, I didn't.
Why didn't you deliver that right away? The little Blaine girl's sick. You lost it, didn't you?
No, Mr. Gower, here it is.
Here, why you?
Ow, Mr. Gower, my ear, my ear.
You good for nothing. Lazy loafer.
Ow, you're hurting my sore ear.
What are you trying to do? Ruin me.
No. Ow, Mr. Gower, you put something wrong in those pills.
Shut up, you little...
Look, I know you're sad. You're upset about your son dying. You've been drinking, but you put something bad in these capsules. I didn't know what to do.
Huh? The capsules.
Look at them, Mr. Gower. You took the powder from this bottle. It's poison.
Poison. Poison. Oh my God.
Don't hurt my sore ear again, please.
Poison. Oh, George. George. Oh, George.
That's why I didn't deliver the medicine, Mr. Gower. I wanted to ask my pop to make sure that he was busy. He couldn't help me.
George. George. Forgive me, George.
I will never tell a soul, Mr. Gower. I know you're sad. I will never tell anyone. Hope to die.
George. George.
Little Mary Patch was at the stone fountain that day. She heard it all, but she, too, never told a soul.
My, George sure took a beating. But he did the right thing.
Well, George grew up and wanted to go to college, but there just wasn't enough money. So he worked for 4 years at the Bailey Building and Loan Association.
Building and loan?
Yes, George's father was in the building and loan business, him and George's uncle Billy. But it was a case of high ideals and low bank account.
Those two always seem to go together.
Yes. Anyway, George worked for his father and saved enough money to pay for college. But first, he was going to summer in Europe, working his way across the country on a cattle boat. Full of wanderlust, George wanted to do a little traveling before college.
Another piece of apple pie. George?
No, Ma, not for me. I've had enough. Gee, it's hard to believe this is my last night at the old Bailey boarding house.
We're all going to miss you, George.
I'm gonna miss you too, Pop. You too, Mother, and everyone in Deptford Falls.
You've certainly earned your chance, son.
Oh, and I'm gonna take it. But, hey, what's the matter, Pop? You look kind of tired.
I don't know. I had another run-in with Harry Potter today.
Mr. Potter? That old money-grubbing buzzard. I thought when you put him on the board of directors, he'd ease up on us a little.
So did I. He may be the richest man in town,
The
but...
most miserable, if you ask me. I don't understand somebody like Mr. Potter. I mean, he can't begin to spend all the money he has.
Well, Potter's crippled. Spent his life in that wheelchair. He's frustrated. Think about it, George. If you were...
But Potter owns everything he wants in town. Everything except the Bailey Building loan.
Maybe that's why he hates us. To him, we're just a bunch of foolish...
Hey, George, can I borrow your tuxedo cufflinks for tonight's dance?
Sure, help yourself, Harry.
Well, where are they? Here in your suitcase?
Come on, Harry. George won't be needing a tuxedo on a cattle boat.
You never know. Say, where'd you get that beat-up old suitcase anyway, George?
At the Emporium, Harry. Mr. Gower bought it for me.
A going-away present?
Yep, far away. You see, one of these days this bag will be plastered with exotic travel stickers. You know, like Rome, Athens, Baghdad, Samarkand.
I guess you're going to have a pretty full summer, George.
Well, I'm going to have a pretty full life.
So why don't you come to the dance tonight?
Your graduation dance? Nah, I'd be bored to death.
Oh, but it'd be a wonderful dance.
There'll be lots of pretty girls, son.
And we're using that new gym floor you used.
That was a brilliant idea of yours, George. Putting the pool over the gym saved the high school thousands.
Well, Pop, that's just the start for me. You wait. Oh, what I'm going to do, what I'm going to see.
Like the tuxedo cufflinks?
Oh, try upstairs, Harry, my top drawer.
Okay. Yikes. I gotta hurry, bye.
Was I like that when I graduated from high school, Pop?
Pretty much. I sure wish we could send Harry to college with you, George.
Yeah, but Harry and I got all that figured out. He'll take over my job at building and loan, work and save for 4 years like I did, then he'll go.
He's pretty young for that job.
He's no younger than I was.
You were just born old, George.
How's that, Pop? You know my trick here?
I said you were born old.
Well, then that's why I've got to hurry now. There's a whole world out there waiting for me to conquer it.
George, when you get out of college, you wouldn't consider coming back to the building and loan, would you?
What? Come back? Oh, no, now, Pop, I just couldn't. I couldn't face being cooped up for the rest of my life in a shabby little office with all those people.
I see.
Oh, I'm sorry, Pop. I didn't mean that, but it's just this business of nickels and dimes.
I know. Spending your life trying to figure out how to save 3 cents on a length of pipe. I understand, son.
Do you, Pop? Staying here, I'd just go crazy. You see, I want to do something big, something important.
But in a small way, we are doing something important, George. In that shabby little office, we help people buy their own homes. We hope their dreams come true.
I know, Pop, but most of my friends have already finished college. I feel if I didn't get away, I'd bust.
I guess you're right.
You know what I mean, don't you?
I know that this town's no place for anybody, unless you crawl to Mr. Potter. You've got talent, George, a gift. So travel, get yourself that education, then do what you want, son.
You know, Pop, ready for a shock? I think you're a pretty great guy.
Well, thank you, George. Look, why don't you go over to Harry's dance? See that new gym floor over the pool. I'm sure you'll have a good time.
Well, it is my last night in Bedford Falls. I guess I could drop in. Maybe I will. Pat, see you later.
So, George Bailey went to a dance. Is that important, boss?
Why, it was at the dance that he fell in the pool with Mary Hatch and most of the rest of the graduating class of 1928.
So, George and Mary went overboard at the dance.
Later, he was walking her home. They were feeling pretty good, Clarence. As a matter of fact, wonderful.
Buffalo gals, can't you come out tonight? Come out tonight, come out tonight. Buffalo gals, can't you come out tonight and dance by the light of the moon? Hot dog, eh, Mary?
You're so beautiful, George.
Well, we don't look beautiful. You should have seen me scramble to get these dry clothes out of the locker room.
I didn't know you were the football type.
I didn't know you were the royal robe type.
Didn't you now? My train, sir.
You're a caboose, milady. Hey, you know something, Mary? I'd almost say you were the prettiest girl in town. You look wonderful.
Well, why don't you say it?
I don't know. Maybe I will. But what happened to you? How'd you get so grown up?
I'm gaining on you, George. Maybe we'll be in the same class at college.
Same class? Hey, how old are you anyway?
18.
18? Why, it seems only last year you were just 17.
What? Am I too young or too old?
No, you're exactly right. Your age sort of fits you. I'm just saying you look a little older without your clothes on.
What?
I mean without your dress on. No, I mean,
What do you mean, George?
Hey, look where we are.
The old Granville house.
Yeah, I gotta throw a rock, bust a window.
Oh no, George. Even though it's deserted, I love this old place. It's full of romance.
Romance? No, with deserted houses, you make a wish then try to bust a window.
But it's a lovely old house. I want to live there someday.
In there? Go on. I wouldn't live there if I were a ghost. Now watch. That window on the second floor. Here we go. How about that, huh? Broke that window.
What'd you wish for, George?
Wish? Oh, I don't know. Not just one wish, Mary. A whole hatful of them. You see, I'm leaving this crummy little town. I want to see the world. Italy, Greece, the Parthenon, the Colosseum. And that's just this summer.
That's a great start, George.
Yeah, and then I'm coming back and going to college to see what they know, of course.
Of course.
And then I'm going to build things. I'm going to build airfields and skyscrapers 100 stories high and bridges a mile long. Then I'm going to... What you doing, Mary? Hey, you're a pretty good shot yourself. So, what's your wish?
Buffalo gals, can't you come out tonight and dance by the light of the moon?
Come on, Mary, what is it you want? Do you want the moon? All you gotta do is just say the word and I'll throw a lasso around it and...
Okay, the moon. I'll take it. Then what?
Then what? Well, then you swallow it, and it dissolves and moonbeams shoot out of your fingers and the ends of your hair, and then, do you think I'm talking too much?
Yes. Why don't you just kiss her?
How's that? Say what?
I said, why don't you just kiss her instead of talking her to death?
Kiss her, huh?
Youth is wasted on the wrong people.
Well, hey, just a minute. Hey, you, come on back here. I'll show you some kissing now. Oh, wait, Mary, don't run off. I'm just funning with... Oh, Mary, you're
Over here, in the hydrangeas.
in the hydrangeas?
Oh, toss me my rope, George.
Toss you your robe? Oh, sure, I'll just toss you your... Now, wait a minute.
What?
Well, this is a very interesting situation.
Oh, give me my rope, please.
Now, hold on. I've got to think this through. It isn't every day a guy has an opportunity like this,
George Bailey,
especially in Bedford Falls.
I'll tell your mother on you.
Oh, but she lives way up the street from here.
George!
Maybe I could sell tickets, make a little more spending money for the trip.
George!
I'll tell you what, I'll make a deal with you, Mary. If you just let me...
George!
Hey, Uncle Billy, look here, I'm gonna kiss Mary, watch.
George, get in the car, quick, it's your father.
Father?
He's had a stroke.
What? What, my father's
Come on,
trying to-
George, get in, hurry.
Here, Mary, I gotta go.
Well, George's father died that night, Clarence, and George didn't get to go to Europe. But that fall, just as he was ready to leave for college, the directors of the building and loan had a meeting.
A meeting?
They had to appoint a successor to Mr. Bailey.
I disagree with you. I think we should do something else other than that.
Enough discussion, everyone. All those in favor of approving these last loans made by our deceased president, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
No.
Mr. Potter's dissent is noted, but the motion carries. The loans are approved. Thank you, George. That's all we'll need you for. I know you've got a train to catch.
Yes, is there any taxi out there, Uncle Billy?
Yes, a taxi is waiting to take George to the train. In college. Hurry, George.
I'd like the board to know that George here gave up his trip to Europe to oversee things these past months.
Good luck to you at college, George.
Take care, George.
Thank you. So long, gentlemen.
Now, proceeding with our agenda, we come to the real purpose of this meeting. We must...
No. Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Potter,
I've waited long enough. I want to get to my real purpose. To the solution of this... I said I've waited long enough. Now, this institution isn't needed in this town. It competes with the bank and is a general nuisance to sound business practices. Therefore...
That is your opinion, Mr. Potter.
It is not opinion. It is fact. Now that Peter Bailey is dead, I moved that we dissolve the building and loan and turn its assets and liabilities over to a receiver. No, you wait a minute. Peter Bailey was not a businessman. He was a man of high ideals, so-called, but ideals without common sense can ruin this town.
Ruin?
Of course, it isn't fair to little people to encourage them to live beyond their means. Like this, Ernest Bishop, the taxi driver. I happen to know he was turned down for a home loan by the bank. But here...
Now, wait a minute, Mr. Potter. I handled Ernie Bishop's loan. You've got the papers in front of you. His income, insurance, his collateral, and I can personally vouch for his character.
Ah, a friend of yours, George. You see, gentlemen, if you should pool with an employee here, you can borrow money. And what's that getting us? A discontented, lazy rabble instead of a thrifty working class. All because starry-eyed dreamers like Peter Bailey stir them up and put impossible ideas in their heads. Now, who'll second my motion to dissolve? Oh, I meant no disrespect, George, but your father...
Now, wait a minute. Why my father ever started this penny ante building and loan, I'll never know. But just remember this, Mr. Potter. That rabble you're talking about, well, they do most of the working and paying and living and dying in this community.
And so?
Well, is it too much to have them work and pay and live and die in a couple of decent rooms with a bath? Anyway, my father didn't think so. People were human beings to him. But to you, a warped, frustrated old man, they're cattle. In my book, Mr. Potter, my father died a richer man than you'll ever be.
I'm not interested in your book, George. I'm talking about the building alone.
No, you're talking about something you can't get your greedy hands on, and it's galling you. That's what you're talking about. I've said too much. I have to leave.
That's okay, George. Come on.
That's quite enough, actually.
I apologize, gentlemen. Well, you're the board, and you can do what you want, but let me just say that this town needs this measly one-horse institution. If only to have some place where people can borrow a few dollars without calling to Mr. Potter. Come on, Uncle Billy, let's get out of here.
So what happened, George?
Yeah, all Tilly and I heard was a lot of yelling.
You won't believe it, Eustace. Boy, oh boy, you should have heard George.
Oh yeah? Right now they're voting us out of business.
Well, after 25 years, easy come, easy go. Of course, I don't know what's going to happen to us now.
And your mother, George. Poor thing.
And no job for Harry.
But I don't care, George, because it was worth it. It was worth it to see you shut Potter's big mouth.
Yeah, who cares? And I can get another job. I'm only 51.
56.
Will you get out of here, George? You already missed your boat trip to Europe. Do you want to miss college too? Ernie's waiting downstairs.
Hey, what about this here?
George, they voted Potter down.
We're still in business. We're still in business.
What a relief, Tilly.
There goes my new career, Eustace.
But there's one condition, George. They've appointed you to take your father's place.
Appoint me? No, Uncle Billy's your man.
Sure, you can keep him on. You can hire anyone you'd like.
No, wait, Dr. Campbell, get this straight. Don't you people realize I've got plans? I'm leaving. Leaving for college right now.
George, you've got to take it. They'll vote with Potter otherwise. They said so. Without you here, Potter would be able to persuade them to dissolve the whole...
Wait, boss. Don't tell me George Bailey didn't make it to college.
No, he didn't, Clarence. George gave his college money to his brother Harry. Harry went instead.
But what about that girl? The cute one stuck in the hydrangea bush. Mary?
Oh, you know, George saw her now and again, but Mary also went to college. And George worked 4 more years at the building in Lowe, waiting for Harry to finish school, come back, and take over. George still hoped to see the world, though. He planned to work in the oil fields of Venezuela. Except, when Harry came back, he wasn't alone.
There's the professor now. Old Professor Phi Beta Kappa Bailey, All-American.
Well, if it isn't old George Geographic Explorer Bailey. What, no huskies? No sled? Uncle Billy, you haven't changed a bit.
Nobody ever changes around here. You know that.
Oh, am I glad to see you.
Say, where's Mother?
She's home cooking the fatty calf. Come on, let's go.
Oh, wait a minute.
How do you do?
Ruth Dakin.
Ruth Bacon Bailey, if you don't mind.
Huh?
Well, I wired you I had a surprise. Here she is, meet the wife.
Well, what do you know? Congratulations.
Well, how do you do? Congratulations. Congratulations. Harry, why didn't you tell somebody? What's a pretty girl like you marrying this two-headed brother of mine?
Well, I'll tell you. It's purely mercenary. My father offered him a job.
Oh, he gets you and a job? Well, Harry's cup runneth over.
George, about that job. Ruth spoke out of turn. I never said I'd take it. You've been holding it back here for 4 years and, well, I won't let you down, George. Oh, wait a minute. I forgot the bags. I'll be right back.
And I want to tell you, we're going to give the biggest party this town ever saw.
Here, have some popcorn. George, George, George. That's all Harry ever talks about.
Ruth, what about this job?
Oh, well, my father owns a glass factory in Buffalo. He wants to get Harry started in the research department.
Is it a good job?
Oh, yes, very. Not much money, but a good future, you know. Harry's a genius at research. My father fell in love with him.
And you did too?
George, is that you, dear?
Oh, yes, Mother. I just thought I'd get in there.
So, how do you like your new sister-in-law?
Ruth? She's swell. Harry's got all the luck.
She'll keep him on his toes.
Well, keep him out of Bedford Falls anyway.
Now, Ruth's father has a good job for Harry, up in Buffalo.
Yeah, Buffalo. And that means...
Oh, then you can't.
Yep. Again.
I'm sorry. George?
Yeah.
Well,
Did you know that Mary Hatch is back in college too?
Oh, yeah.
She's been back 3 whole days. Nice girl, that Mary.
I suppose.
Oh, stop this moping, George Bailey. It's not like you.
Well, what do you want me to do, Mother?
Give me one good reason why you shouldn't go see Mary.
Well, how about Sam Wainwright for one?
Sam Wainwright? Hee-haw?
Sam's crazy about Mary.
Well, she's not crazy about him.
Not. Now, how do you know that? Was it in the newspaper? Did I miss it?
Mary's got her eyes on you, George. She lights up like a firefly whenever she's around you.
Firefly?
Plus, you don't want her to be an old maid, do you? Plus, Sam Wainwright is in New York.
Oh, is he now? So all's fair in love and war. Is that it?
Don't be difficult. The right girl can help you find the answer, George.
Okay, Mother. Trying to get rid of me, eh?
Oh, George!
Good night, Mrs. Bailey. By the way, do you need any books from the library?
Library? George! George! You go see Mary. Do you hear?
Hey, George, need a lift?
Oh no, Ernie, I wouldn't want to rob you of a fare.
You won't be robbing me of any fares, George. The taxi business is on the skids.
Well, then it's just like the building and loan business. Want to swap?
Actually, George, I need to talk to you. I'm gonna have to turn the deed back over to you.
Deed? The deed to your house? You've only been there 2 years, Ernie.
Yeah, but with business being so bad, I can't make the payments right now. Me and the missus will just have to move back in with her folks.
Oh, Ernie, no. No, I'll tell you what. Can you just pay the interest?
The interest? Well, sure, I could do that.
Okay,
but
so keep the house. Forget the principal for a while. You're just paying a rough patch, that's all.
Gosh, George, I don't know how to thank you. This means so much.
Taxi!
Hear that? You're back in business, Ernie.
I am? I am. Coming right up.
Attaboy, Ernie.
Come on, Violet!
Hey, going somewhere, Georgie Porgy?
Hello, Violet. Hi, fellas. Gosh, you look great, Vi.
In this old thing, I only wear this when I don't care how I look. Right, guys? Excuse me, fellas. I think I got a date. So, Georgie, what's going on? Where are you heading?
Oh, I was just going down to the library, I suppose.
Come on, Georgie. Don't you ever get tired of just reading about stuff?
Well, come to think of it, yes. Okay, what are you doing tonight, Violet?
Me? Not a thing.
Okay, well, if you're game by, we can make a night of it. I've got to talk to somebody. What do you say?
Sure, George. It's about time. What do we do?
What do we do? We'll go out to the fields, take off our shoes and walk through the grass.
The fields.
And then we can go to the falls. You've got to see them in the moonlight. And there's a green pool up there, Vi. We can swim in it.
Swim?
Sure. Then we can climb Mount Bedford and smell the pines and watch the sunrise on the peaks. Come with me. We'll stay up there the whole night and be the talk of the town. And there will be a terrific scandal. How about it, Vi?
George Bailey, have you lost your mind? Walk through the grass in my bare feet. It must be 10 miles to the falls, and this is the only thing I have to wear. You expect me to go swimming in this?
Violet, okay. Okay.
What is with you, George? For a guy who wanted to sail around the world, you don't seem to have been around the block. I mean, come on.
Fine. Just forget the whole thing. Forget it.
So ridiculous.
George, what are you doing out there?
Nothing. Oh, is that you, Mary?
I think so. Well,
Well, what? Oh, me. I was just passing by.
yes, several times. I wondered if you were picketing or haunting me.
Now, why would I be
But your mother phoned saying you were coming over?
my mother? Oh, the nerve of... Well, I just happened to be passing by, that's all. I didn't have any firm kind of plans or anything.
So,
All right, if you insist, I'll come in for a minute. But I didn't tell anybody I was coming here.
right, you're your own man.
So, when did you get back?
Tuesday.
Oh, where'd you get that dress?
New York. Do you like it?
Oh, it's all right, I guess. I thought you'd take up in New York like Sam and the rest.
No, I worked there a few vacations, but I don't know. I got homesick.
Homesick? You got homesick for Bedford Falls?
Well, it is home after all. Oh well, no point in just standing on the porch. Come on in.
I don't understand this. I didn't tell anybody I was coming over here.
So you're leaving?
No, I wouldn't want to be rude. I'll stay a while since I'm here.
So, it's nice about your brother and his new wife, isn't it?
Yeah, Ruth. It's okay.
What's the matter? You don't like her?
Well, of course I do. Ruth's a peach.
Oh, it's just the marriage in general you're not down on, huh?
No, marriage is all right for some people. I mean, it's fine for Harry and for Sam Wainwright and you.
For Sam?
Mary, who's down there?
It's George Bailey, Mother.
George Bailey? What's he want?
I don't know. What do you want, George?
Me? Nothing. Not a thing. I was just passing by.
Coward. He's trying to kiss me, Mother.
He is? You tell him to go right back home. Sam Wainwright said you called tonight from New York.
I guess so, Mother. So, George, how about a little music here?
You know, your mother should have. Oh, no. I didn't come over here just to.
Well, what did you come here for?
Well, I don't know. You're supposed to be the girl with all the answers. How about you tell me why?
Oh, why don't you go home?
Okay, maybe I will go home.
Mary, the telephone.
Sheesh, I don't know why I even came here.
Mary,
Good night.
Good night.
Mary, the phone.
You know, with all this shouting, we think that maybe somebody could.
Mary, maybe it's Sam. Answer it.
You think what, George?
Mary, get the phone.
All right already. I'll get it, Mother. Oh, George, on your way out, could you turn off this phonograph?
Sure, I'd be glad to. Doggone crazy song. Let me out of here.
Hello, hatch residents. Oh, Sam!
Hey Mary, so good to hear your voice.
Is it?
Excuse me, Mary. Seems I forgot my hat.
Oh, Sam! How nice of you to call all the way from New York. Hee-haw.
What? Mary? Oh yeah. Hee-haw.
You know, Sam, an old friend of yours is here. George Bailey.
What? Old Mossback George? In person?
Yep, old Mossback George.
Hee-haw, well, put old George on. I want to say hi.
Wait a minute, Sam.
George. Mary, Sam doesn't want to talk to George.
He does too. He even asked for George.
What is it, Mary? See, I'm in a hurry. I've gotta go.
Wait, it's Sam Wainwright. He wants to talk to you.
Sam Wainwright. Oh.
It's Sam. Here's George.
Hi, Sam. Hee-haw.
Hee-haw, some pal you are. What are you doing there? Trying to steal my girl?
Steal your girl? Hey, nobody's trying to steal any girl. Mary, here's Sam again.
No, wait a minute, George. Wait. I want to speak to both of you. Put Mary on the extension upstairs.
He wants you to get on the extension upstairs.
I can't. Mother's on the extension.
I am not.
George, just put your head a little closer. We can both hear.
Both? Okay.
There. All right. Sam, we're both on the line.
Good. Now, I have a plan that's going to make us all rich. George, remember one time in Martini's Tavern you told me about making plastics out of, chili beans?
Chili beans?
Soybeans. I mean soybeans.
Oh, yeah, soybeans, okay.
Well, my father's investing in it, George. We're going to open a factory outside Rochester. What do you think of that?
Rochester. Factory. Wait, why don't you put it here in Bedford Falls? The old school machinery works closed down. You could get that building for a song. Plus, there's lots of labor here, too.
Now you're talking, George. But here's the point. Mary, you listen to this too. If you've got any money, put every dime into our stock.
Stock?
Come on, George. We might even have a job for you. That is, if you're not still married to that broken down old building alone. Here's your chance to get in on the ground floor.
Ground floor? That's wonderful.
We'll have to see, Sam.
Oh, Mary? Are you still listening?
Yes, Tim.
Tell George this is the chance of a lifetime. You hear? The chance of a lifetime.
He says it's a chance of a lifetime.
Give me that phone.
Here's George again. George!
Now you listen to me, Mary. I don't want any plastics, any job, any ground floors, and I don't want to get married, ever, to anyone. Do you understand me?
Oh, George!
I want to do what I want to do, and you're not going to trick me into any...
George!
Mary,
I know.
So, George and Mary got, what do they say, hitched?
Yes, Clarence, they were married that October.
I always cry in October.
And the two headed off in Ernie Bishop's taxicab.
Here you go, newlyweds. Heard the cops have this bottle of bubbly, but don't tell anyone. Prohibition and all that.
Mum's the word, Ernie.
So, where are you two heading on this deluxe honeymoon?
see this fat water patch? Count it, Mary. It's our kitty. So we're shooting the work journey. A week in New York, a week in Bermuda. There'll be the highest hotels, richest caviar, the hottest music, and prettiest wife.
Congratulations, George. You're finally getting out of Bedford Falls. Then what?
Gee, I don't know. Then what, dear?
The moon. Who cares?
That's right. Hey, you know what, Mrs. Bailey? I haven't kissed you nearly enough.
Well, they come here, you.
Hey, slow down, lovebirds. Hey, any fun farewells, George? Here's Shensi Street.
So long, Bedford Falls. So long, old building and loan. So long, Uncle Billy and Mr. Potter and everyone else. We're sneaking out and we won't be coming back. Ever.
The bank's I can't get my money! Hey, George, there's something going on here. Look at that crowd over there in front of the bank. Looks like the door's locked.
What? Pull over, Ernie.
What is it, George?
Hey, George, that's what you call a bank run.
A bank run?
Yeah, you got any money in the bank? Better pull it out or...
Oh, George, no, let's not stop, please. Ernie, just go straight to this train station. George!
Wait a minute, honey. I gotta see what this is. I'll be back in a second.
No, George, please. George, don't go. Ernie, stop him.
How are we gonna get our money back?
We'll return in a moment to Seton Catholic Drama Department's radio theater presentation of It's a Wonderful Life with the world's greatest stage manager, Lauren Bell, sound effects artists Laura Espinoza and Anna Jorgensen, and myself, Ryan Vu. But first, a word from our sponsors. Here's Cohen Ross for Seton Sanitizer.
Well, I suppose that Seton Sanitizer truly is a multi-purpose item. By now, you're probably wondering how you can get a hold of this amazing product. Well, here's how. By donating at least $500 to this amazing, hard-working drama department, you will get a complimentary bottle of Seton Sanitizer. And you know what? I have a special offer for you right now. If you donate more than $5,000, you will get a complimentary 2 bottles of Seton Sanitizer. Thank you for attending this show, and please consider donating to this amazing Seton Drama Department.
And now, Act 2 of It's a Wonderful Life, starring famous acting siblings Griffin and Morgan Cash, Shaylee May and Joshua Cooch, Andy and Addie McCaleb, and Rebecca and Ryan Vu. In heaven, the superintendent of angels is still reviewing George Bailey's case history. Clarence, an apprentice angel, is eager to depart for his mission to Earth.
Goodness, boss! I've heard enough background. If George Bailey's contemplating suicide, I'd better head down to Earth right away.
Hold it, Clarence. We're not anywhere near the point where George Bailey's thinking about ending his life.
What? Why not?
You'll never get your wings unless you can be patient. Now, where were we?
George and Mary were heading out of town on their honeymoon when they ran into a run. A bank run, I mean.
Ah, yes. It was the financial panic of 1932. You see, bank troubles were very prevalent back then.
Where's my
Whoa! What's going on, boss?
In the lobby of the building and loan, dozens of worried shareholders were clamoring for their savings. Meanwhile, George was in Uncle Billy's office.
Okay, hold on, please, now, please, everybody, don't panic. I know you want your money.
Yeah, what are we gonna do?
Wait, look, I just talked with Potter on the phone. He says the bank will reopen next week. Next week.
We want our money,
Oh,
George.
my money's here.
Where's our money?
Come on, everybody, wait just a minute. Now, listen here. You've got it all wrong. Your money isn't here.
Where
Wait,
is
just
it?
a minute. Let me explain. Your money's not here. It's not in the safe. No. The money you've invested in this building and loan was put into people's houses. It's in Ernie's house, and Grimaldi's house, and yours house, and 100 other houses.
Well, then
I don't get my money. I want my
Building
money.
and loan works. If you all want your money now, what do you want us to do? Foreclose on them? Throw them out of their homes?
Yeah, I don't care. I got $242 in shares here. $242 won't break you. Close my account. I want my money now.
Sign this form and you'll get your money in 60 days.
60 days. 60 days.
That's what you all agreed to when you bought your shares.
Ha! I got my money.
Where?
Old man Potter will pay you 50 cents on the dollar for your shares.
Really?
Now, what do you say, George?
Well, now we have to stick to the agreement.
Oh yeah, come on everybody. Let's take our shares to Potter. Half is better than nothing.
Let's do it. Folks, don't do this. Stop. Listen, if Potter gets a hold of the building and loan, there won't be a decent house built in this town again. Can't you see? He's just taken over the bank. He's already got the bus line, the department store, and now he's after us. You know why? We're cutting into his business. He wants to keep you living in his shacks and paying the rent he decides.
But George.
Eddie, last year things were tough for you. You couldn't always pay, right? Do you think Potter would have let you keep your house?
Well,
Listen, everybody, Potter is buying because you're panicking and he's not. To him, you're just a bunch of bargains. Now, we can get through this, but only if we stick together. We have to believe in one another. Have faith.
That's a lot of fine talk, George, but I've got doctor bills to pay.
My husband got laid off. We need our money.
yeah, what do we live on until the bank reopens?
You can't feed your kids on faith.
That's right. What about that, George?
George, darling,
Hey, Mary.
how much do they need? We still got some money.
You do? Oh, yes, we do.
The honeymoon money.
Wait, folks, I've got $2,000 here, my own money.
Well, then give us some money.
Well, that could last us until the bank reopens.
I hope so, Uncle Billy. Sure would have made a nice honeymoon.
Bought some furniture too.
What are you gonna
Oh,
get some money?
$1,000 cash. All right, Charlie, how much do you need?
$242.
Come on, Charlie. How much is enough to tide you over?
I want my $242.
Okay, Uncle Billy, give Charlie here $242.
That closes my account then.
No, that doesn't close your account.
It's just a loan, Charlie. Just a loan.
My turn.
Well, I got $300 in here.
But come on, Eddie, how much do you need?
Well, $20 then.
Thank you, Eddie, thank you. Okay, Mrs. Davis, how about you?
But this is your own money, George.
That's okay, What do you need?
Well, would $17.40 be too much?
$17.40. Bless you, dear. Pay it back when you can now, when you can. Okay, who's next? Who's next now? Let's try to spread it out.
I'll take you.
I want some money.
Look at the clock, George. Look.
I'm looking, Uncle Billy, I'm looking. 5 seconds, 4 seconds.
3, 2, 1.
6 o'clock. We made it.
Lock the door, Eustace. Lock
Right,
that
George.
Still in business, Uncle Billy. Even if we only got $2 left.
Maybe they'll be in the safe, hey, Eustace?
Yeah, like bunnies.
They better.
George, telephone.
Okay, Tilly. Oh, by the way, call my wife, will you? I forgot all about.
Mrs. Bailey's on the line.
No, I don't want Mrs. Bailey. I want Mrs. Bailey. Wait, Mrs. Bailey. Oh, right, that is my wife. Give me the phone already, will you? Hello, is this Mrs. Bailey?
Yes, this is Mrs. Bailey.
Well, Mary, we survived. I'm sorry,
Now that you're done saving things, come home.
Huh?
Come home.
Come home? Well, what home?
Our home.
What?
Our home, George. At 23 Sycamore.
23 Sycamore, huh? Whose home is that?
Our home.
Huh?
Our home, Saphead.
But Mary, how can we have a...
Right now.
Right now? Okay, sure. All right. Sure.
I love you.
I love you too, honey. I'm coming home.
Clarence, do you know where 23 Sycamore was?
His mother-in-law's house?
No, it was the old Granville house where George and Mary threw rocks and made wishes. You see, her wish was to marry George and live in the Granville house. And that's where they honeymooned, that's where they set up house, and that's where they were still living 2 years later, when Mr. Potter asked George to drop by his office.
Now, George, I suppose you're wondering why you're here.
I have no idea, Mr. Potter, but I'm sure you do.
That's what I admire about you, George. You're like me. You get right to the point. Okay, well, George, I'm giving up.
What? Giving up?
Yes. As you know, I run nearly everything in this town. Everything except the Bailey building alone. Of course, I've tried to gain control of it for years, but you've outwitted me, invaded me, defeated me. Am I right?
Well, actually, yes.
That's because you're a smart man, George. 2 years ago, during the bank panic, you and I were the only ones who kept our heads. You saved the building alone, and I saved everything else.
Most would say you stole everything else.
Envious people might say that, George. The suckers might state that. We both know that I was just being a smart businessman. And that's what I'm being right now.
So you're giving up?
Well, if you can't beat him, join him.
What? You're suggesting...
Now, wait, George. Don't get up. Don't leave. Take it easy now. I've told you my side of the story, but let's look at your side.
What?
Your side. Now, you're a young man. 27, 28, married, making what? $40 a week?
45.
Okay, 45. And if you were a common ordinary yokel, I'd say you were doing well. However, you're no common ordinary yokel, son. You're an intelligent, resourceful, ambitious young man who hates his job. Yes, you hate the building alone almost as much as I do, George. You've been dying to get out of this town ever since you were born. You see your friends, your brothers, go places while you're trapped here. Trapped into frittering away your life playing nursemaid to a lot of garlic eaters. Is this a correct picture, George, or did I exaggerate?
So, what's your point, Mr. Potter?
My point is that I want to hire you, George.
Hire me? To do what?
To manage my affairs, oversee my properties, and I can start you off at $20,000 a year.
$20,000 a year?
Of course, and you're worth it too. Wouldn't you like to live in the best house in town, get your wife some clothes, a trip to Europe every year?
Europe? Are you sure you're talking to me? I'm George Bailey. Remember me? The building and loan George Bailey?
Yes, the George Bailey whose ship has just come in, providing he has the brains to climb aboard.
Yes, but what about the building and loan?
Forget about the building and loan. I'm offering you a 3-year contract at $20,000 a year. Do we have a deal or not?
Well, $20,000, a nice home. Europe, can you give me 24 hours to think about it? Ask my wife.
Of course, George. Meanwhile, I'll draw the papers. Let's shake on it, my boy.
Okay, Mr. Potter. Gee, I never would have thought it.
What? Is there something wrong, George? We're just shaking heads over a business.
No, I can't do it. I don't need 24 hours. I know right now. The answer is no. No!
What?
If you offered me $1 million to stay in Bedford Falls, to be your stooge, the answer would still be no.
But why?
Because the whole world shouldn't revolve around you and your money. Some things can't be bought or bought off, and I'm one of them. I don't need you or your money. Now let me out of here.
You'll eat those words, George Bailey. You're a failure, just like your father. You just don't know it yet.
Sorry I'm so late, Mary. Are you bored, waiting up for me?
Just knitting, George. So what did Mr. Potter want to see you about?
Oh, nothing really. Just talk, But, geez, why did you marry a guy like me anyway?
Well, I didn't want to be an old maid.
But I was going to see the world, go places, build things. I was going to give you the moon, but instead, what have I given you, huh? No nice house, no fine clothes, no trip to Europe. Some husband I am. I feel terrible.
Me too. Mornings especially.
I mean, you could have married somebody successful. Somebody like Sam Wainwright, anybody else.
But I didn't want anybody else. I wanted my baby to look like you.
You didn't even get a honeymoon. No fancy... What do you want to look like me?
My baby.
Baby? What? You mean... Hey, Mary. Mary, you mean You're on the nest?
Well, Clarence, Mary had her baby, a boy they named Petey.
Oh, that's nice.
Then another one, a girl they named Jamie.
Oh, good for them.
But, of course, George never got out of Bedford Falls.
He didn't?
No, year after year, George slaved away at the building alone. Potter made things quite tough for them, but George kept on dreaming and hoping. Mary had another baby, Susan, who they nicknamed Zuzu.
Oh, how charming.
Then came the war. Mary ran the USO and had another boy, Tommy. Uncle Billy and Gower sold war bonds. Old Mr. Potter headed the draft board, of course. Violet joined the Waves until they found out her way of raising morale would sink the Navy.
Oh my.
Bert, the cop, got wounded in Tunisia and received the Silver Star. Ernie, the cab driver, was captured by the Nazis, but escaped from a prison camp. And George's brother, Harry, remember him?
Oh yes, he moved to Buffalo.
Yes, he did, but Harry became a real hero. As a Navy flyer, he shut down 15 planes, 2 of them just as they were about to crash into a ship full of soldiers.
And George, what did George do in the war?
Well, George fought the Battle of Bedford Falls. He was designated 4F due to his bad ear, so he served as an air raid warden, ran scrap drives, rubber drives, plastic drives. Like the rest of the country, on VE Day, he wept and prayed. And on VJ Day, he wept and he prayed again.
Well then, we're just about up to today, aren't we, boss?
Yes, the only thing you don't know about him is what happened to George Bailey that has him down there at this moment, wanting to die.
Suicide. Well, what is it, boss?
All right, today is the day before Christmas, and in addition to holiday preparations, George is very excited.
Tilly, Eustace, did you see this in the newspaper? Commander Harry Bailey, famous Navy ace decorated by the President. My brother, the Medal of Honor.
Gosh, George, that's just swell.
That's good.
Shut up, Jimmy.
Commander Bailey downed 15 enemy planes, the last a kamikaze just as it was about to dive into a troop transport. Think of it, Harry saved hundreds of lives. Hey, where's Uncle Billy, Eustace?
He's at the bank, George.
But the bank examiner's here, waiting for him.
Well, good afternoon.
Carter, bank examiner.
Yes, of course. Hey, you know what? My brother's picture's in the paper. The President is decorating him today.
Yes, well, I suppose they do that sort of thing. Now about the books.
George?
Violet, how are you? Did you see the paper all about Harry's homecoming and
Can I see you a minute, George? Privately?
privately? Okay, bye. We can just go tomorrow.
Mr. Bailey, I'd like to finish your audit tonight, so I can get home to Elmira and spend Christmas with my family.
Oh, yes, that's right. I just have to, Tilly, show the books to,
Carter, bank examiner.
Of course. Can you, Tilly?
Sure, George, I'll bring him into the conference room. Come right this way.
Carter.
Bank examiner.
Shut up, Jimmy.
Violet, step into my office.
Thanks, George.
So, what can I do for you, Vi?
The letter, you promised.
Letter? Oh, yes, the letter of recommendation. I was right in the middle of typing it when all this stuff about Harry came up.
I guess we'll do on the phone, George. I'm leaving for New York. I gotta make a fresh start.
Here, how's this? To whom it may concern, the bearer, Miss Violet Fick, has been employed here at the Bailey Building and Loan for the past 2 years.
That's lying, George.
Now, Vi. She demonstrated intelligence,
A lie.
ability,
A lie.
and good character.
Character, if I had any character.
I'm happy to give her my wholehearted endorsement.
Sweet. Thanks, George.
Come on now. It takes a lot of character to leave your hometown and start somewhere new. And here's something to help you get started.
No. Oh no, George, I can't take that.
Come on, you're broke, aren't you? You want to hawk your furs in that hat? Walk to New York? It's a loan, Violet. That's all. I'm in the loan business. Besides, you'll get a job.
Yeah. Sure.
Good luck, Vi.
I'm glad to know you, George Bailey. Merry Christmas, Georgie.
Same to you, bye. Say hello to New York.
Hello, New York.
Shut up, Jimmy.
Shut up, Jimmy.
Houston, where's that Uncle Billy?
He's making a deposit at the bank.
At the bank. Shut up, Jimmy.
Well, well, Mr. Potter, here to personally guard your money? What, your ball not strong enough?
Look out, Bailey, you old fool. My wheelchair.
Did you see the news? Harry Bailey gets Medal of Honor. What'll those Bailey boys do next?
Huh? Let me see that newspaper.
Sure, here.
What does that slacker George think about? About Harry being decorated?
Well, if that slacker had gone, he'd have earned 2 Medals of Honor.
Oh, but George didn't go. Bad ear. He heard everything but the call to arms.
Well, make sure to read the part about the parade for Harry tomorrow. Sorry, I can't chat more, you old thief. I gotta go make a deposit.
Next customer, please.
Hello, let's see here. Here you are, bank book, deposit slip, and a Merry Christmas to you.
You too, Mr. Bailey, but, haven't you forgotten something?
I forget things all the time.
So, Mr. Bailey, where's the money?
What?
You want to make a deposit, don't you?
Of course. I want to deposit $8,000.
Well, then it's customary to bring the money with you.
Pull me out of here.
The money? The money, it's gone. Where'd I put that money?
Take note, Clarence. Uncle Billy couldn't find the deposit money because the envelope with the $8,000 was folded up in that newspaper he gave to Mr. Potter.
The money was in the newspaper? So that's why George and Uncle Billy are scouring the street.
Look by the curb, Uncle Billy. I'll look by the mailbox.
I just don't know what happened to it, George. I just don't know.
$8,000. It's not our money, the depositor's money, and the bank examiner's here.
But George, we traced every step I took.
Well, if you didn't drop it, maybe you never put the envelope in your pocket in the first place?
Maybe, but oh, I'm no good to you, George, no good.
Come on, you gotta think.
I can't think, I just can't.
Now, where's that money, you old fool? This means bankruptcy, scandal, prison. One of us is going to jail. Well, it won't be me. You keep looking here, I'm going home.
George!
What's the matter, George? You haven't said a word since you came home.
How can I with Jane banging on the piano? Does she have to keep playing that over and over again?
I gotta practice for the Christmas party, Daddy. What is it, dear? Another hectic day?
Oh yeah, red letter day for the Baileys.
Mom, here's Zuzu's plate. Hey, Dad.
Not now, Petey.
The Browns, next door, got a brand new car.
It's a Plymouth.
Well, what's the matter with our car? Not good enough for you?
Sorry, Dad. I only...
Thanks for bringing Zuzu's plate, dear. Run along now.
Okay, I'll finish on the decorations.
I want to help.
Zuzu's eating in her room? What's the matter with her?
Oh, she got a little cold. Coming home from school, didn't button up her coat. She got a flower as a prize and didn't want to crush it. So
What do you mean a little cold?
Oh, it's okay, dear. The doctor said it was nothing serious.
The doctor? The doctor came?
Well, Zuzu's got a cold temperature. But it's just 99.
It's this drafty old house. It's a wonder we don't all have pneumonia.
George!
I mean, why do we live here in the first place? Why in this crummy little town?
What's wrong, dear?
Everything's wrong. Or why did we have to have all these kids anyway?
Daddy, how do you spell frankincense?
I don't know. Ask your mother.
Where are you going, George?
To see Zuzu.
Daddy!
Are you okay, Zuzu? I heard you got a cold.
I want to water at school, Daddy. Can you give me a drink of water?
Drink of... Okay, I'll...
Daddy, you crushed it.
I didn't mean to. I was just...
Fix it, Daddy. Paste it.
There. See, it's all pasted. Good as new.
Thank you, Daddy. You can do anything.
Anything? I'm trying to get some sleep, darling. You'll get better.
Merry Christmas, Daddy.
Mary, Zuzu felt it.
Hello?
Zuzu felt a bit hot to me. Maybe we...
Oh, thank you, Mrs. Welch. Oh, she'll be all right.
Who is it, Mary?
It's Mrs. Welch, Zuzu's teacher. What? Oh, well, the doctor says she should be out in bed in time for the performance.
Mary, give me that phone.
George, please.
Is this Mrs. Welch? Well, this is Mr. Bailey. Now, what kind of teacher are you? Do you realize you could get pneumonia because of you?
George.
Silly, careless people like you sending kids home half naked. You know, maybe my kids are the best dressed kids in town, but at least... Hello? Hello? Janie, enough with the piano. Cut it out. Stop!
Oh, Daddy. George, whatever's wrong with you? Let's see George with the children, too.
Okay, then how about this?
You worked on for months on that bridge model.
Happy now?
What's come over you? You're acting like a wild...
I'm sorry. Jeannie, I'm sorry, Mary.
George.
I just gotta get out of here.
So, that's what this sudden visit is about, George. You're $8,000 short in your accounts.
That's right, Mr. Potter, but you gotta help me. I'll pay any sort of interest. If you still want the Bailey building alone, I guess we could arrange some.
But you said the money was lost. What if it was stolen? Maybe you should notify the police.
No, sir. You see, Perry's homecoming is tomorrow and Felicity lives.
Oh, I see. You didn't lose the money playing the market, did you, George? Horses?
Of course not, Mr. Potter. The money's just...
A woman, then. Have the town's talking about you giving money to Violet Vick.
No, that has nothing to do with the...
So you've come to me. Why not your buddy, Sam Wainwright?
Well, I tried to get a hold of him, but he's in Europe right now, and...
So you want a loan from me for $8,000? What do you have as collateral, George?
Well, I have some life insurance here.
Life insurance? For how much?
A $15,000 policy.
15,000. But what's your equity in it?
500.
500? And you want an emergency loan on Christmas Eve for 8,000?
Yes.
Ha! You're pathetic, George Bailey. For years you opposed my plans and derided my character. You said you didn't need me or my money, did you not?
Yes, sir.
And now, suddenly I'm very important to you. Well, do I look like Santa Claus?
No, Mr. Potter,
You once called me a war-frustrated old man. Well, George Bailey, what are you but a war-frustrated young man? You dreamed of conquering the world. Look at you now, crawling for me. My help. Go to the riffraff. You love so well. Go. Beg them for help.
Please, Mr. Potter, I don't know what I'm going to do.
Oh, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to swear a warrant for your arrest.
Wait a minute, Mr. Potter, I thought we...
I'm calling the sheriff, and then the district attorney, and then the newspaper.
The sheriff? The newspaper? What about a loan on my insurance policy?
For $500 in equity. George, you're worth more dead than you're alive.
No. I've got to get out of here.
Where are you going, George? You can't hide in this small town like this. Hello, Sheriff Baxter. This is Henry Potter. I want to swear out a warrant against George Bailey.
Oh, boss, the nerve of that Henry Potter!
Yes, Clarence, he had George's $8,000 sitting in his desk drawer.
What will George do now, boss? Where is he?
Well, he's at Martini's Tavern. George has had a couple of drinks. He's dazed, just standing there.
Our Father, who art in heaven. Oh, God, I've never been a praying man, but if you are listening, show me the way. Please, I'm lost, God, lost. Please.
Mr. Bailey, you all right? Mr. Martini, George here don't look so good.
You're right, Nick. Mr. Bailey, you're drinking too much, Please, you had enough.
Bailey? Which Bailey are you talking about?
This, Mr. Bailey. Mr. George Bailey.
George Bailey? Why, you... Serves you right, Bailey. If you ever talk to my wife that way again, you'll get even worse.
Huh?
Ain't it enough she slaves away teaching your stupid kids how to read and write? Then you gotta bawl her out on the phone? She cried for over an hour, you louse.
Hey, beat it, Mr. Welch. You punched my best friend. He helped me buy my house. Out of here. Go. Throw him out, Nick.
Yeah, you get out of here. Yeah.
All right, I'm going.
Mr. Bailey, how you doing?
Martini, who was that?
That's Mr. Welch.
Oh. That's what I get for praying. And where's my policy? Huh? My insurance policy.
Don't you worry, Mr. Bailey. Welch don't come here no more. Wait, Mr. Bailey, I get something cold for your face. Look, the blood.
No, that's all right.
Please don't go, Mr. Bailey. Stay.
Go on, just let me be.
Stay here, Mr. Bailey. It's snowing. Nick, take Mr. Bailey home.
No, let me alone. Alone, you hear?
Well, Clarence, George left Martini's Tavern a few minutes ago. He's standing on the toll bridge, looking down at the river. He's about to jump. Do you have your plan ready?
I don't know, boss.
Well, if you can save George Bailey's life, you'll get your wings.
My wings? Oh, yes, my wings. I won't let you down, boss. George! George Bailey! Don't jump, George! Get away from the bridge! George! George! Stop!
We'll return in a moment to Seton Catholic Drama Department's radio theater presentation of It's a Wonderful Life, starring Henry Davis Morales, Shaylee Mae Cooch, Rebecca Boo, and myself, Ryan Boo. But first, let's enjoy the dulcet tones of Miss Megan Chiarella, brought to you by our sponsor, Seton Sanitizer.
Man, this man ain't lying about this hand sanitizer. It comes in this pretty little bottle. And I can tell you, this stuff is way better than all them containers you get at Walmart. Firstly, this handy little fella, you can take this thing anywhere. And it ain't all harsh and chemically. But most importantly, I can tell you, this stuff tastes great. I can feel them coronaviruses wailing inside of my intestines right now. Like it does burn a little bit, I'm not gonna lie, and it can sometimes cause severe cramps. But this stuff gets the job done, and that's what I want you to know. Thank you for this amazing product.
And now back to It's a Wonderful Life. A troubled George Bailey stands on the Bedford Falls toll bridge, convinced that he's worth more dead than alive. Deep in despair, George stares at the freezing waters below, poised to end it all, when suddenly...
Help! Help me! I'm drowning! Help me!
Oh my God, wait, mister, here I come.
You two sure are lucky my toll booth is open tonight. Otherwise you'd have froze to death, jumping into the river like that. Are you warming up now?
Well, I'm okay, and you, Mr.
Clarence, I'm fine. Although my underwear is a bit out of fashion, I passed away in it.
You passed what?
Even Tom Sawyer's drying out too.
The name's George.
No, my book. I still have Tom Sawyer with me. But, you know, there is a Tom Sawyer quality to you, George. Lots of ideas. Wanderlust. You know?
Uh-huh. So, how'd you fall in the river?
Fall in? I didn't fall in. I jumped in. Jumped in to save you, George.
Jumped in to save me.
Well, it worked, right? You didn't go through with your plan, did you?
Go through with what plan?
You know, suicide.
Hey, you can't commit suicide around here. I think it's against the law.
Well, it is where I come from.
Where do you come from, mister?
Oh, you know, heaven.
What?
Right.
Oh, George, you're bleeding. Your lip.
Oh, well, I got punched in the face in answer to a prayer.
No, George. I'm the answer to your prayer. I was sent down from heaven to help you.
Oh, come on.
I'm Clarence Oddbody, AS2.
AS2?
You know, Angel second class.
Angel. Right. Well, I'm going to see if any other angels just saved somebody. When your clothes are dry, feel free to leave.
Thank you so much for the warm stuff!
Wait a minute. Now, why did you save me?
Because killing yourself is a sin. Especially for $8,000.
$8,000? How in the...
I know all about you, George Bailey. Remember? Guardian angel.
Uh-huh. And you're just the kind of angel I'd get. Angel, huh? Where are your wings then?
I'm an angel second class, George. I haven't won my wings yet. But you can help me earn them by letting me help you.
Help me? Okay, you couldn't help me with, say, $8,000, could you?
Oh, but we don't use money in heaven.
Oh, well, it sure comes in handy down here, bub.
Well, some may think so,
I
but...
just found out a little late. But since you know so much, did you know I'm worth more dead than alive?
Oh, don't talk that way, George. I'll never get my wings if you keep that up. You just don't realize what you've done for people. I mean, if it hadn't been for you...
If it hadn't been for me, they'd all be better off. My wife, kids, my friends.
But killing yourself wouldn't make them happier.
I suppose you're right. I guess it would be better if I hadn't been born in the first place.
What?
Yeah, I wish I'd never been born.
Oh, that's a good one, George.
Good what?
The plan you just gave me. It reminds me of Tom Sawyer. Well, let me see here.
Hey, what the...
Okay, George, you've got your wish. You were never born.
Never born?
That's right. You have no worries, no missing $8,000, no sheriff or Mr. Potter on your trail. You don't exist.
Hey, wait, my ear. Say something in my bad ear.
You hear me all right? You don't have a bad ear. That's because you're not the George Bailey you used to be. No, you're, you're nobody.
That's nuts. But I can hear.
And your lips stopped bleeding.
Hey, it did. What's happening? I need a drink. Yeah, that's what. How about you, Angel? Want to join me for a drink?
A drink? Well, I'm on duty, you know.
Join me. As soon as our clothes are dry, we can just
The
head.
clothes are dry, George. They never got wet, you see.
Okay, so let's dress and walk over to Martini's Tavern and have a... sorry. I mean, I'll walk. You can fly.
Fly? But I don't have my
Wings, right? You don't have your wings. Well, after a few drinks, we'll both be flying. Come on.
Well, looky, fellas.
Nick, is Martini still here? I want to apologize for earlier.
You want a martini? Or are you just a wise guy?
No, okay. Just give me a double bourbon then.
And for you?
Clarence is the name. I just love a flaming rum. No! Maybe mulled wine.
Mulled what?
Yes! With a dollop of nutmeg and just a dash of cloves. Hop to it, my lively lad.
Listen, Clarence. We serve hard liquor here for men who want to get drunk quick. If that's not good enough for you, perhaps I can convince you otherwise.
That's okay, Nick. Just give him the same as me.
2 double bourbons.
Why is Nick acting that way? What's going on here? The tavern's all changed.
Bedford Falls has changed. You got your wish, George. You were never born. It's a different world without you.
Different world?
Good. At least somebody just made it.
Huh? Just made what, Clarence?
Here are your drinks.
Well, every time a bell rings, an angel gets his wings.
What'd you say? Angel?
Angel second class.
Clarence, you don't want to talk about angels in here.
Why? They don't believe in angels?
Sure, they believe in them, but
So they're surprised to actually see one?
In a bar. Yeah.
sorry, Nick, you just never grew up.
Sure I did. Next September I'll be 293.
2 pixies, eh? I bet you don't got any money either.
Of course not. We don't use money in heaven.
Well, this ain't heaven. That's enough. Out, get out of my bar.
Your bar? Where's Martini, Nick?
What? You ain't getting no martini. And how do you know my name anyway? I don't know you from Adam. Hey, you again.
Spare some change, sir. Spare some change.
Oh, you old rummy. I told you never to come back here panhandling.
Mr. Gower? Mr. Gower, listen, you know me, I'm George Bailey. George Bailey?
Buy me a drink, mister? Just one? Mister?
Get out, Gower. Bill, throw that rummy out.
Oh, no. No, please.
But that's Mr. Gower from the pharmacy.
Yeah, that rumhead did 20 years in prison for poisoning a kid. If you know him, then maybe you're a jailbird too. Bill, get these 2 out of here. Out.
You don't have to be so brusque.
Hey, everybody, get me. I'm handing out wings.
What happened to Mr. Gower? How could that be? Poisoning your kid?
Don't you see, George? You weren't there to stop Gower from putting the poison into
I wasn't there. Sure, I was there.
No, because you were not born.
Not born? Well, who am I then?
Nobody. You have no identity.
What do you mean? I'm George Bailey.
No, you're not. No papers, no driver's license, no 4F card, no insurance policy.
Zuzu's petals.
They aren't there either, George. You may have put those flower petals in your pocket before, but now you don't exist.
They're gone. Gone. Am I a ghost?
You've been given a gift, George, to see the world without you.
You're nuts. And you're driving me nuts, too. I'm going home to my wife and family. Do you hear? Leave me alone. Hey, officer. Bert, what's with this sign? Welcome to Pottersville?
What about it? You're in downtown Pottersville.
Pottersville? But where's the building in Lone? The Bailey building in Lone?
What? That joint closed down years ago. As you can see, it's a pawn shop now.
But what about the...
Hey, where do you think you're going, Violet?
Get your filthy hands off of me, Copper. I didn't jackroll nobody. That sailor had it coming.
You did, eh? Well, you're coming with me.
I said lay off of me. I know the mayor, the judge, and the chief, and I'll have you bounced off the fort. You can't touch me.
That's enough out of you. Get in the wagon.
No!
Wait, Violet, hey, I know that girl.
You and every other wolf in town. Now move along before I run you in too.
Step on it, Ernie. You gotta get me home. I'm losing my mind.
So where do you live, Bob?
Now cut it out, Ernie. Don't pull that act on me. I live at 320 Sycamore.
320 Sycamore?
Yeah, and hurry. Zuzu's sick.
Whatever you say, pal.
Listen, Ernie, I don't know what's going on here. I'm crazy or something. Maybe had some bad liquor. Tell me now. Your name's Ernie Bishop, right? You live with your wife and son over in Bailey Park?
What? Have you seen my wife?
Seen your wife? Of course I have. In your house. 100 times. I built it for you, didn't I?
My wife took the kid and ran away 5 years ago. And I ran one of Potter's shacks. I've never seen you before, so what are you calling me Ernie for?
Okay. Okay. Just keep driving. Mary, kids, where is everybody? Petey, Janie, Zuzu, Tommy, where are you?
This is just an abandoned house, George. You don't have a wife or children.
What's happened to them?
Well, if you don't exist, then your children wouldn't have.
And there, officer, that's him. He's off his rocker.
Hold it, you two. This is the police. Put your hands up.
Bert, wait, it's me.
Take it easy, mister. Come along quiet-like, and we'll get you some help.
Bert, what's happened to you? Look, it's this guy here. He's an angel. He hypnotized me.
Well, I am an angel, but I don't hypnotize. We prefer to.
Whatever. I'm taking the both of you. Ow, let go of me, you.
Now's your chance, George. Run.
Ow. Bite me, will you?
Hey, you wouldn't be an old angel, would you? Wait, Boss, help me! Boss, help me!
What the? Hey, Ernie, where'd the old guy go?
I don't know. He just disappeared.
What about the other one?
He ran south to Sycamore. Come on.
Yeah?
Mother,
Mother? Who are you?
I'm George. Surely you remember me, George.
George who?
Mother, listen, you gotta help me. Something terrible's happened. Something's happened to everybody. If I can just come in and stay until I get over it, maybe then.
Get over what? There are no vacancies. Scram!
But we're family. You know, me, your brother-in-law, Uncle Billy. And
You know Billy?
sure, I saw him today.
Today? Ha! Billy's been locked away in that nut house ever since he lost his business.
Uncle Billy, the nut house. What?
The Pottersville nut house, and that's where you belong too. Now beat it.
Mother, open up. It's me.
Beat it, you. I'm calling the cops, so you better run.
Looking for Bailey Park, George?
You again? Well, where's the housing development? Bailey Park. My dad and I built it right here.
As you can see, it's a cemetery, George.
Cemetery? Where are the houses? The people I knew?
Oh, they're here, George. They're here.
What?
Amidst these tombstones, Martini's buried here, the little Blaine girl, your father, and right next to him,
Harry? Harry Bailey? Dead?
your little brother fell through the ice and was drowned at the age of 9.
No, Harry got the Medal of Honor. Harry saved the lives of every man on that transport.
Every man on that transport died, George.
How?
Harry wasn't there to save them, because you weren't there to save Harry.
Me?
Strange, isn't it? Each man's life touches so many other lives. You know, George, you really had a wonderful life.
Wonderful?
The kingdom of heaven is spread upon the earth, but men do not see it. Don't you see? See what a mistake it would be to throw your life away, George? Life is the greatest gift.
But all the things I wanted to do.
It's easier to want what you get than to get what you want, George.
But Clarence,
Yes?
what about Mary? Please, where's my wife?
But you don't have a wife.
Tell me where she is.
You won't like it, George.
What's become of her? Where's my wife?
Haven't you seen enough, George?
Where is she? Tell me.
She never married. She's an old maid.
Old maid. Where is she? Right now, or do I have to choke it out of you?
Okay, George. The library. She works there. She's just closing up for the night, so she won't. George, come back! Oh, there must be an easier way to get my wings.
Mary,
I'm sorry, sir. The library is closed.
No, Mary, it's me, George. Come on, you know me.
No, I don't know you. Excuse me.
Mary!
Let me go.
Mary, I got you. I want you, please.
No, stop. Let me go.
Mary, please. Where are the kids? Our kids. I need you, Mary, please.
Let go. Get away from me. Help.
No, Mary, I'm George.
Help, somebody help me. He's mad.
Hey, get away from us.
Call the cops.
No.
Hey, get out of my way. That's Mary, my wife. Let me go.
No.
Wait, Mary, wait. Don't run away.
Please, help. There's a madman after me. Stop him. Help.
No, I've got to see her. Mary, please.
There he goes, officer. Over there.
Clarence, are you here? Clarence, where are you?
Here I am, George. So, are you going to jump off this bridge again?
No, Clarence, I want things back the way they were. Put me back into the world. I want to have been born. I do.
But you'll face scandal and prison again. The newspapers, bankruptcy, disgrace.
Anything, I'll do it gladly. I don't care. Just get me back to my wife and kids, Clarence. I want to live again.
Ah, that's the spirit, George. Don't despair. Always be willing.
Yes, can you do it? Can you do it for me, Clarence? I want to live again. God, let me live again. Yes, God, I want to live again. Yes, God, please.
George, what are you doing here?
Huh? Bird? No. Stay away. Stay away, officer. Come any closer and I'll Clarence, save me!
What in Sandhill are you yelling about, George?
What? George. George, Bert, do you know me?
Know you? I've been looking all over town for you, George. Where have you been?
Where have I been? Say it again, I can't hear you.
I'll try the good ear. I said, where have you been?
Why, Bert, I'm alive again. Alive again.
Alive again? Are you alright, George? You know your mouth's bleeding.
My mouth? Hey, my mouth is bleeding. Look at the blood oozing out of there. What do you know?
Well, it's not that bad, George.
Oh, hey, Zuzu's petals. I have them in my right pocket over. They're here in my pocket. Hey, Merry Christmas, Bert.
Well, Merry Christmas. Get in the squad car, George. I'll drive you home. Right after I get back.
Can't wait, Bert. I'm going home. I know the way home. Boy, do I know the way home. Merry Christmas, Bert.
Merry Christmas, George.
Merry Christmas, Bedford Falls. Oh, how I love this town. Hey, Merry Christmas, old building alone. Merry Christmas, Mr. Potter. Mary, what's with all the... Oh, reporters. The sheriff, yes, well, Merry Christmas, reporters. Sheriff and... You...
Carter, bank examiner. Mr. Bailey, your books show a deficit and...
Yes, I know. $8,000, right?
Precisely. And your disappearance has kept me...
Excuse me, Mr. Bailey, I've got a warrant for your arrest here.
Yes, a warrant, Sheriff Jail? Isn't that wonderful? Merry Christmas.
Well, actually, it's not so.
Mr. Bailey, Mr. Bailey.
Yes, folks. Mary, kids, I'm home. I'm home. Oh, look at this marvelous, drafty old house. Isn't it wonderful? Mary, kids.
Daddy! Merry Christmas!
Yes, Janie, Katie, Tommy, oh, I love you so. Where's your mother?
I'll look for you, Daddy, with Uncle Billy.
Daddy!
Zuzu, Merry Christmas, my little ginger snap. How are you feeling?
Fine, Daddy. Not a smidge of temperature.
Not a smidge. Hallelujah.
George, Mommy's home.
Mommy. Mary.
Oh, George, where did you go?
Mary.
Oh, George.
Mary, I have to touch you, hold you. You're real, Mary, real. Oh, you have no idea what happened.
You've had no idea what's happened.
George! Money, George. Bushels of money.
You found the $8,000?
No, George. Mary worked a miracle. Didn't you, Mary?
Well, people heard you were in trouble, dear. Your friends, they pitched in to help you.
Miss Martini and Mr. Gower. Mr. Gower, thank you. Mrs. Thompson, thank you. Eddie, Tom, thank you. I can't believe it. Ernie, thank you.
Well, none of us would have a roof over our head if not for you, George.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, woo! Go, George!
Here, Georgie, alone.
Violet, you didn't go?
No, I decided to stick around. Wait, everybody, here's a cable from Sam Wainwright. It reads, Mr. Gower notified me that you needed cash. Stop. My office will advance you up to $25,000. Stop. Hee-haw and Merry Christmas. Sam.
Whoa! I don't know what to say. Mother and Harry.
George, Mary called us in Washington. I flew in as soon as I could.
Come on, everybody. A toast, Harry.
Yes, a toast to my brother, George, the richest man in town.
To George!
Daddy, look at, see my little bell hanging on the Christmas tree?
I see it, Zuzu.
I hung it up there all by myself. Can you ring it for me, Daddy?
If I can reach it, dear. Excuse me, Mary.
Oh, George, someone left a book here under the tree, see?
Why, it's the Adventures of Tom Sawyer.
And there's an inscription. What's it say?
Dear George, remember,
No man is a failure who has friends. Thanks for the wings. Love, Clarence.
Clarence?
yeah, a very dear friend of mine.
Daddy, teacher says every time a bell rings, an angel gets their wings.
That's right, Susie, that's right. That's right. Thank you, Clarence, thank you. Yes, it truly is a wonderful life. Happy landings.
white line for granted. I've been waking up tight day after day. Hope it's taking its time to go my way, but I don't take my life for granted. I'm gonna hold on.
These flowers, we have these flowers for you because this play couldn't have been done without you. You worked so hard to get us in the building and coordinate with everyone. Thank you so much.
Not giving up. We have to keep switching back and forth between being here and being online.